All right, so it's section 8.3 continued about credit card interest. So here we have a record of transactions on a statement for 2 months, right? We got August here and September. August and September, we begin with a balance of $1,500, $1,500 for August at the beginning of the month, and a 19% interest rate on our credit card purchases, and 1 month grace period. 1 month grace period. So part 1 here, use the average daily balance method to compute the finance charge, also known as the interest, for the statement sent at the end of August. So we're focusing on August. Now keep in mind that you have a 1 month grace period, so your purchases this month in August are not charged interest. They're not going to be charged interest till September. So how many days are in August? Well, August has 30 days, half September, April, June, and November. All the rest have 31, except for February, which can have 28 or 29. August has 31 days, so N is 31 here. Now, our interest rate R is going to be 19%, right? Right here. Interest rate R is 19%. That's 0.19. 0.19. And our T, so our time in years, is, the formula is N over 365. N is the number of days in the month. That's 31 over 365. And we don't want to turn that into a decimal. We want to leave it as a fraction, because if you turn it into a decimal, you'll have to round it off, and you get round off error. We don't want round off error. We want to be more accurate. And we have this thing called capital P here. Capital P is the average daily balance that's subject to interest charges. And capital P, its formula is capital T over N, where we know that N is 31 days. And capital T is going to be the sum of all the balances subject to interest throughout the month. So you're going to take every day's balance and add all those days' balances up for capital T. So you put basically R, T, and P together into a formula, I equals PRT, which you've seen before as the simple interest formula. I equals PRT is what we're doing. So we have R is 19%, 0.19. We have T is 31 over 365. We got to find the P, the big P. So I'm going to go up here and make a new table. It involves dates on one side and balances on the other side. So balances that are subject to interest charges, we'll say balances charged interest. So let's look at day 1, August 1, right? We're just looking at August right now. So remember that you start with a balance of $1,500, $1,500, but also on day 1, August the 1st, you pay $500, so we got to subtract that from our balance. That'll be charged interest. So we got a $1,000 balance actually on August 1. Now if you look at August 3rd, that should be $200 for an Airbnb. That's a typo. So on August 3rd, you purchase an Airbnb. That's kind of like a hotel for $200. So you pay for an Airbnb with your credit card for $200. Now this is a purchase. So purchases are not charged interest in August. They'll be charged later in September. So we're going to say interest next month. And we're not going to include this in the balance that's charged interest this month. So this is not going to be added to our balance. We're not going to add $200 to our balance this month because it's not charged interest this month. We charge interest next month. The same goes for gas, interest next month. And school supplies, $200, interest next month. And for textbooks, that'll be charged interest next month. And for groceries, interest next month. So I&M, interest next month. But then on the 31st, a big thing happens. We pay off more of our credit card bill, $600. So I'm going to take $1,000 minus $600. They give me $400 that I owe on the account on the last day of August. So here we have August. So it looks like from August 1st through August 30th, we have a $1,000 balance that's charged interest. And then on August 31st, the very last day, a $400 balance that's charged interest. So for my capital T, I'm going to write it up here so we can see the table. We're having a $1,000 balance for how many days? the 1st of August through the 30th of August, that's 30 days. I'm going to take 1,000 times 30 plus. I'm going to take the balance on the 31st, which is $400, and multiply it by how many days is it $400? Just one day, right? The very last day. So that's $1,000 times 30. Transferring it down here where I'm doing my work for capital T, plus 400 times 1. And if I calculate that, I should get that capital T. That's the sum of all the balances subject to interest for the month of August is 30,400. Okay, so I'm going to plug that in up here. 30,400. That's going into my formula for the capital T, where capital P is. I'm taking 30,400 divided by 31, and I get I get $980.65 roughly. If I can get this to right. $980.65 approximately. You can go more decimal places and you'll get better accuracy. But for I, we want to plug these in. We're going to plug in, okay, I'm going to say I is approximately. Since we rounded capital P, actually I is going to be approximate. I equals PRT. P, capital P was what? 980.65. R was 0.19. And T was 31 over 365. So I multiply all this out in my calculator, I get, let's see. See, $15.82. It's a funny looking squiggle mark, look. So for the month of August, I have to pay an interest charge or a finance charge of $15.82. All right, let's do the same thing except for September. September has 31 days. My interest rate is still, don't forget what it was, 19%. 0.19. And my time in years is going to be still n over 365, which is going to be, n is this time 31 days, and September divided by 365. I got to find my capital P by taking capital T divided by n. We're still going to be dividing by, we're going to be dividing by 31 this time. And capital T we need to compute to figure out what capital T is. That's going to be the sum of all your balances subject to interest throughout the month of September, right? We're dealing with September. So let's look at September. Starting on September 1, I'll get rid of this capital T right here. We're going to have to compute that again for September. So on September 1, I have a balance of, well, it starts with $400 from last month. Remember last month we have a leftover balance of $400 that was unpaid? No, we have to start with the $400. What else? We have to add any purchases from last month. Remember we had all those purchases last month, the Airbnb, the gas, the school supplies, the textbooks, the groceries, these purchases right here. Well, they were not charged interest last month, but they have to be charged interest this month. So that's going to go towards our balance charged interest in September. So we're going to add $200 for Airbnb, $30 for gas, $200 for school supplies, $350 for textbooks, $60 for groceries. And there's one more. There's one more thing we have to include. We have to also include this interest right here that was collected, that accrued on our account from August. So we have to add $15.82. So don't forget about the interest, $15.82. So I got to add all these up, 400 plus 200 plus 30 plus 200 plus 350 plus 60 plus 1582. And I get 125582. 125582. So my total balance for September 1 is 1,255.82. That's September 1. Now let's see what else happens at September. So we got we bought some gas for $30. We're not going to collect interest. It's not going to be collected interest on this month. So interest will not be collected on this month for any purchases in September. So interest next month. Same for movie tickets. Interest will be collected next month. Same for groceries. Interest next month. Same for lunch. Interest next month. But then on the 29th, a big thing happens. We don't buy anything. We pay off on September 29th part of our bill. So we start off with $1,255.82 on September 29th, and we have to subtract $800, in which case we get, I guess, $455.82. So our balance on the 29th is $455.82. And how many days are in September? I think 30. Yeah. No, 30. 30. That should not be 31. That should be 30. So we shouldn't have n as 31. We should have it's 30. So let me change that n to 30 there and that n to 30 there. Let's be careful. It's 30 days half September. Okay, so our last day is September 30th. And do we do anything after the 29th as far as purchases or anything at all? No. So the balance is still $455.82 on the last day. On the very last day. So my capital T, my sum of all my balances that are subject to interest charges for September is, let's see, on September 1st, it's $1,255.82. And how long does that last? How many days? Well, it's the 1st through the 28th, right? The 1st through the 28th, because on the 29th, the balance changes to $455.82. That's 28 days. So we got $1,255.82 times 28 days. And then 29th and 30th, we have a balance of $455.82. So that's the last 2 days. That's 2 days. So notice how the 28 and the 2 add up to 30. Yeah, total of 30 days for September. Yeah, 30 days in September. So I'm going to take that and transfer it below, what was it, 1,255.82 times 28 plus 455.82 times 2. I think that's what I had. Let me go back and double check at the top. Yeah, so now we're going to calculate that capital T, sum of all balances subject to interest throughout September, 1,255.82. 1,255.82 times 28 plus 455.82 times 2. And we get, let's see, 36,074.6. So we're going to plug that in the above formula where the big P is. We're going to have 36,074.6 divided by 30. And I got, for capital P, about, I'll write it down here. Capital P is about $1,202.49. So we're doing the formula I equals P RT. In other words, I is approximately, P was $1,202.49. R is 0.19. And little t is 30, not 31, 30 over 365 because we have 30 days in September. So here goes, I is approximately 1202.49 times 0.19 times 30 over 365. I got about $18.78. All right, there we are.